Hey, what's up?
Live.
I'm operating off my phone, and we're going to figure this out as we go. But today, Brian's going to ask prostate exams necessary but fun. Starboy explains string theory, and Famine is going to play murder, bang, or marry for our custom figures. I'm Dom.
I'm Famine.
Yeah, and Famine, who's our guest for tonight?
Should we bring them on now or make them wait in the green room? Because I did see that Starboy was eating all the cheese and Audi was trying to eat the grapes. So I think we're about close to budget on that. Let's bring them out. We'll bring out Audi first. Outer Multiverse, how's it going, Brian? And Starboy Station, welcome.
Hey guys.
Hey, what's up? Thanks so much for being here.
Good news, guys. I got the notification that we are in fact live now. My watch just let me know. So we're kicking it old school here.
Awesome.
Brian, thanks for coming back. Glad to have you back.
Thanks for having me back.
And Starboy, first time meeting you. Welcome to the show.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah. So tonight, guys, we're going to talk about some custom figures. All of our guests and co-hosts have created some custom figures we're going to show off tonight. Maybe we'll have some surprises and pull some out during the show as well. Afterwards, for members and Patreon members, don't forget there's going to be an After Dark where we do all the custom. But I think before we start any of that, I'm going to pass off to Famine. You got anything to plug for your channel?
For my channel, Tuesdays, I always do my live streams, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. You guys can find me also on Fridays on the World Maker Consortium. That pops up on my channel and Rad Toys channel. And also I have a Patreon now where I'm doing reward tiers. There's a couple of reward tiers. There's also a free tier, which is the best way to keep up with things because you guys know with the way Instagram and YouTube are with their algorithms, sometimes they don't always show you things. Whereas when you do Patreon, you get the automatic alerts when somebody posts those things. And for the digital and physical tiers, I'm making agnostic world building signage and labels and different things like that. So I'm very excited. Somebody here might have had a little input on a couple of the items, gave me some ideas. So I'm not going to point any fingers as to who it is, but yeah, be excited for that.
That's awesome. So I don't remember if I joined your Patreon or not, but if I didn't, nudge me afterwards and be like, Tom, what are you doing? Because I want to get in on those signs. It looks really cool.
Tom, what are you doing?
Just give me an elbow and I'll be like, oh yeah, that's right. So, Brian, what you got? What you got to plug? What you got going
on? Big fat nothing, actually.
Moving on.
Yeah.
No. What do you got? Come on, seriously. You're putting out shorts on your YouTube channel all the time. What else you got going on?
I'm still trying to build up YouTube right now. I think I've got several shorts on there. I'm still trying to work on that. It's just, you know how it goes. Sometimes you get super into it, and there's a week or two that goes by that you know it's like, yeah, I forgot. I still got to do this. But yeah, just working on the old Yamato 6, trying to keep building with that pretty much.
That's awesome. And then Starboy.
I don't have anything. I'm trying to get back into world building. I've been on vacation for 3 weeks, so yeah, I'm just trying to get back into it.
Are you jet lagged still?
It actually worked out pretty good with the jet lag. The timing, we had a 31-hour travel day last Friday, and so we got home and it was kind of like bedtime. So yeah, it's all right.
You took a small coma and now you're fine.
Right on daylight savings time. You come back right to that.
Yeah.
It doesn't even affect me. Just add it to the pile.
Famine, because I'm on my phony phone. Can you do the chat there and say hey to everyone who came out to join us?
I mean, we could probably say hey. I mean, do we want to start at the beginning because we all know who's here first?
Yeah, start with I don't know what that is.
Bjorn was set up in the parking lot. I think he was having a strong at the time he wrote that. Unless somebody speaks maybe Klingon. I don't know what that is. And then we have our friend playing with my 375.
What's up?
And we've got Daredevil Dave, excited about customs. Beta Ray Bob, not surprised that he's here this early. And Task Force Figures is talking. That's Star Wars. I recognize that.
That's the universal.
Transformers.
There you go.
And then we've got Dale Sanford here.
Dale.
Looks like a really good new crew. Really likes that metalhead. So there you go.
Oh yeah, with the Star Wars custom with the TMNT metalhead on top of there. That's cool.
Then we got this guy, Wenzilla. I think people might be familiar with him. We've got PLM 2212. Pirates is here.
Hey.
And speaking of Pirates, they're on Wednesdays on 5 o'clock Eastern. 5 o'clock Eastern on Wednesdays. Him and Lord of Thane have a show called Whip Wednesdays, and it's very exciting. That stands for Wizards in Pajamas, by the way.
We need to have like a little like banner that we keep up with like everyone's schedule, like an old TV guide or something like that. Just like a little row that says like Wednesdays. Yeah, that'd be great.
And we got our friend Jason Jensen Trains here.
Jason.
Ratface 44 reviews. And Justin popped in to say hello.
Nice.
Yeah. And we got Beta Ray Bob reminding you, Brian, that there's an Eagle Force stream coming up. So you got to
oh yeah, I forgot about that. Yeah.
No, you just got nothing going on. Nothing really happening. Oh wait, they're gonna stream on Sunday.
Yeah, that'll be the following Sunday. Not this Sunday, but the following Sunday. I'll have to put out a little notification about that.
And we've got a Grumpy Puppet in the chat. Hello, and that looks like that is all the new. Oh, we got Red here as well. Fat Red Foos popping in to say hello. So we got a full house.
Thanks everyone for jumping in here. Thanks everyone who catches us afterwards too. Next week we're going to be having Fox Forge toys on. They're launching a Kickstarter at 6-inch sci-fi figures. They look really cool. And for members, like I said, we're doing an After Dark tonight, but also this Sunday we're doing a secret game where for members and Patreon members, some members are actually playing, and we'll stream it to everybody else as well, or all the other members exclusively as well too. So that'll be fun. I think what I'll do is I'll chop it up afterwards and put out some little bit of edited content, but otherwise, yeah, it's just a little private members game. We're going to play some Action Force and have a lot of murder, I'm pretty sure. So that should be good.
I intend on dying a horrible bloody death and lay down on the ground, and that's going to be it for me.
6-inch is not the other scale, Bjorn. We don't discriminate except against 12-inch. All right, so go ahead. I'm going to switch over to the news here, guys. I think while I look at my phone, this is so pathetic. Usually I'm used to like the dashboards, and I've got like, where's the thing here? So, Famine, actually, do you want to hit the news button?
I'm doing that for you right now. Are you sure you want me to do that?
I give you the power. You have it.
All right. So let's see where you put the news. There we go. I'm not even going to get a hat. That's how much power I have over here right now. I am hatless, in control of things.
Brian has a hat? Joel or Starboy even switched his hat, I think, which is impressive. He was already wearing one, and you just went bald cap. All right.
Yep. So what do we got? What do we got for the news today, Dom?
Okay, so the only thing that I had prepared, and then Famine dropped a bomb on me. So if you want to share it next, you can. But I saw everyone in the chat talking about this today or yesterday, and I was like, oh, that's pretty cool. I'm not a huge Star Wars fan, but I know there's a lot of you who are, and I know you had a lot of comments about this too. So I'm going to shut up and let you guys comment on this future pack coming up here.
I personally am excited for it. I'm not going to order one just because I don't think I need Night Troopers. It's one of those things where I'm sure I'll regret that when the next season comes out or the next film comes out, depending on how the storyline goes. Yeah, I know I'm trying to lean and see around the picture. But there are so many options there between head swaps and boil and pop for limbs. You pick up a few of those packs and you've got a pretty solid army. I know some people are cranky because you're going to wind up with multiple Enochs, but it is an opportunity there, and I'm sure there's going to be plenty of people out there who want to purchase Enoch on his own. The fact that we're again getting a figure in a multi-pack with a brand new sculpt, brand new accessories. That Kama is amazing. A brand new blaster for him. That's a very exciting thing. And like I said, there's opportunity there for head swaps. You can boil and pop the limbs and change the look. Like there's no one specific perfect way that these guys are supposed to look. And there's a lot of opportunity there, and I'm willing to bet. I'd almost go as far as to say you could probably pop that camo off of Enoch and swap a stormtrooper helmet on him, and he would blend right in with the rest, or boil and pop his limbs for other figures.
Okay. Brian, Starboy, thoughts?
Go ahead, Joe.
I'm down. I'm gonna get a couple of those. They're pretty cool.
Nice.
And I don't ever have a problem with a named character in an army builder pack, because you can always customize it.
That was the big pushback, right? Is that they put a character in Army Builder, so you're gonna end up with a ton of those guys on the side. So, what are you gonna have doing with like your 3 or 4 Enochs?
Just change the head.
That's it?
Yeah, just a new character.
I'm gonna army build the Enoch.
Yeah.
Seriously,
Opportunities there.
Yeah.
I've gotten out of collecting Star Wars figures for a while now, but in the past, Morty, my problem with Star Wars figures was the heads and pegs were all different. So as much as I tried to head swap around, there was always like, I have like 100 clone troopers and I can't swap among them. Have they standardized that now? Is it better?
No.
Okay.
Well, for the stormtrooper bucks, now that they're all using the same buck, they are all the same head. You can swap them on and off.
Okay.
Yeah, it just depends on the figures, actually. You know what I'm saying? I mean, they've like the past the past maybe 3 or 4 waves.
Yeah.
It's hit or miss. I mean, it's just hit or miss. You just have to see what kind of what's on. But I mean, it's frustrating at times. But I mean, it's Star Wars figures, man. You know.
I need that. I need that Marauders consistency. You know what I mean? So, Bob said he pre-ordered the set. 1 squad's enough for him. Bjorn, he has ideas, and Adrian says he'd get that pack too. So, all right. Morty Bird, but pass. Okay.
It seems that people, you know, as with most things in Star Wars, no matter what it is, some people are going to dig it, some people aren't, and it just truly depends on, once the dust settles, how these are going to sell out. I think they're going to do really well. They'll probably sell a lot.
I think, for me personally, I think I'm glad they did this, because honestly, they could have just gave us 1 figure, you know, and just been like, here you go, here's your night trooper, you know what I'm saying? And it's like, dude, we're just getting 1, you know? But like, I don't even know if I'll do anything with them, you know, until like the mood hits me, you know. But I definitely, I'm contemplating getting somewhere between 2 and 4 packs, you know what I'm saying? Just
2 and 4?
2 and 4, yes.
Okay, not 24. Okay.
No, not 24. No, I'm not that crazy. You know, I do want to. I mean, because it's like, I don't know if it's going to sell out. And you know, when they put the Stormtrooper 4-pack out, once they sold out, they never put them back in stock. You know.
Really?
Yeah. So
it's the weirdest thing. I've been trying to understand from a business standpoint. And I used to own a business. I used to have a restaurant, so maybe I'm just in the wrong line of work. But why, with a line as big and as expansive as Star Wars, can I not just go to HasbroPulse.com Monday through Friday, or Sunday through whenever, any day of the week, and buy a 4-pack of Stormtroopers? It seems like a no-brainer, and yet they're not doing it.
You can do the thing. You have this power. You can click it.
I can do the thing, but I wanted to do the shirt. I was trying to plug your merchandise down.
I know. I appreciate that. I appreciate the shirt.
Goodness gracious. All right. Well, he figured it out. He found it.
Yeah.
No. So I have said this many times about G.I. Joe Classified, right? Like, just like give us Vipers and green shirts, like, because Hasbro did it with Marvel Legends for the ninjas and Shield, and there's like, here's a $15 figure. It's basic. Maybe it comes with a gun. Maybe it doesn't. But here's a cheap troops, and they always sell out. Hellfire Club, I didn't get any of those. They sold out. I'm like, man, this is just right there. Like, just give them out. And like Joy Toy's doing that, right? Go ahead, Brian. Sorry, I just walked over you.
No, you go ahead. I was just going to say you're exactly right. Hasbro, not to complain or anything, but it's like, it would be, if they just would do some of that, it would go a long way. A long way.
And Bjorn brings up the good point. That is in the news. Here's some more news for you in the future. No more named characters are going to be in the 4-pack, just grunts. But I don't think it hurts in this case. I think that it's much ado about nothing. Everybody getting all mad and stomping their feet because they've, like Brian said, they very well could have just given us one. They could have just given us one stormtrooper, generic trooper with some red, wraps and some gold on the helmet and called it a day. And instead we're getting, I'm terrible with math, but if you've got 3 stormtroopers and 3 different helmets, what is that? 32 possibilities of head swaps, right? Am I wrong there?
I'll trust you on it.
And then if you start to boil and pop the arms, that extends it, and you can just build a whole variety. You have all sorts of opportunity for multiples.
Yeah,
I'd love to see where they're losing money in the Star Wars line. I think they're losing money in the D&D and the cards, which they made very clear when they cut that entire department and started hiring AI editors instead of artists. But I don't think they're necessarily losing money in Star Wars. But I'd love to be proven wrong just to clearly understand.
No, that and G.I. Joe are absolutely crushing it. And then we got C.H. Anthony. Hellfire and Hydra Troopers. Yep. Oh, sorry, that was Dale. Whoops. And then Anthony. I can't give up my Exo Squad. I'm actually purging a ton of G.I. Joe stuff and some Star Wars things, but Exo Squad will be in my grave with me. So yeah, sorry, those aren't coming. In fact, we're going to do an Exo Squad episode again at the beginning of April. We've got Invincible Toys coming back out. And we're going to talk Exo Squad. That's how much we like. I think every quarter we're just going to talk Exo Squad to death until there's no more subscribers or anything. And we'll have negative subscribers because we're just going to keep talking about it. Unlike Marvel trading cards.
And a little inside baseball, he mentioned them being in his coffin. What's super weird is that he's actually not even going to be in the coffin. He just wants the Exo Squad figures buried in the coffin.
Bury them next to my wife. I'll bury the coffin of Exo Squad next to my wife's coffin. It'll be great. She'll love it. She's on board with all of my ideas. All right. That's the only thing I got for news, really. Famine told me there's another cool thing that was coming out, but I'm not prepared to be able to pull it up. So I guess we'll just keep rolling suspense.
Yeah, let's not. I wouldn't tell him. I'm not going to.
Okay. All right. Do the thing. Close this out. You have to do the thing to close this out, Famine.
I'm going to the brand. I was just going to say the two things were the excitement of Mattel releasing a 30th anniversary line of Street Shark that's brand new. They just put up promotional images and a really weird stop motion. I know a lot of people are super into that in our hobby. So check that out. And then also there's a Kickstarter going on for those who are a fan of the Amazon series or the book series of The Expanse. They are doing 6-inch figures. So look for that out there. But since that crashed Dom's computer, I'm not even going to try and roll my dice on that and have me have, this thing. The whole thing will be down. So, that's how it goes. I don't know what's going on.
That's not the right one.
I just work
when it comes to visual media, it's always best to just tell what's coming out rather than show it. They don't want to see.
I wouldn't show anybody anything.
Yeah. Still, all Master Squad, they're amazing. And where's the Phantom Menace? They're in the trash. Okay, all right. So
wow.
I tried to rewatch.
What's that? Year, man. They'll be here later this year.
Yep. There's going to be a lot of stuff at retail when the movies are coming out.
I tried to go back and rewatch that Phantom Menace with my boys. I was like, maybe from a child's perspective, they'll appreciate this. We didn't make it through the whole movie, and they just watched Dune and loved it. But they couldn't watch Phantom Menace, and this speaks to the quality of this storytelling. I'm glad it ushered in a new era of Star Wars, but man, that is a hard thing to rewatch. So
it is. It's tough, man. I mean, just if you could condense that movie in condense it down to 15 minutes to the end scene of them fighting Darth Maul. That's the most important. I mean, that's the most important part of the movie to me. Yeah,
it's the battle for Anakin's soul. There is a cut called the Phantom Edit that you can actually get online. I'm not going to put any links because that's one of those where it's hands will get slapped and seeing. But there's something called the Phantom Edit that's out there and available.
Interesting.
And they cut Jar Jar out and they cut a lot of the storytelling. And I think it cuts the movie down, especially the pod race too. It cuts the film down to 60 or 70 minutes, which is much shorter. Personally, I like episode 1. It's not my favorite of the trilogy, the prequel trilogy. Episode 3 is, but I am very excited to see it in theaters since I only got to see it at the drive-in theater when I was a little kid. I never got to see it on true movie
Oh,
screen.
cool.
So I'm excited about that.
Does anyone
Give
have
me more
influence this
Phantom
action
Menace.
figures? Oh wait, go ahead, Starboy.
Give me more Phantom Menace. I watched the extended pod race version.
Man,
I want a Peter Jackson 4-hour cut.
the
Isn't
Snyderverse cut of Phantom
Isn't there
Menace.
a 6-hour cut of the film that recently word came out that George Lucas had created this giant film, and they were like, George, you can't put out a 6-hour Star Wars movie, and so this is what we got.
That's intense.
Give it to me. I'll watch it tomorrow. I'll watch it tonight.
I guess I'm in the minority. Brian and I are in the minority here. Seems everybody else is Phantom Menace. We should just do an episode about Phantom Menace. Go
I
ahead.
appreciate the Phantom Menace. Don't get me wrong. I mean, I've probably watched it 10 times or so, but it's like there is a lot of, to me, there's some dead spots in the movie. You know?
Yeah, it's between the credits and the opening. I think the dead spots you're talking about. But Darth Maul, this is a good point. Darth Maul, I don't know why we're totally down a rabbit hole on this, but Darth Maul was fantastic. Ewan McGregor, fantastic. Like there are some gems that came out of that. So you're right. Battle droids are cool conceptually, but that Roger was just a nutball. But yeah, you're right. There are some gems out of that.
If you dislike the Roger in the movie, which I disliked it in the movie, I love it in the Clone Wars. I think that is the best. Like cute,
it works so well. It works so well in the Clone Wars.
Yeah, it's just it works. Like it works in that. I don't know if it's the medium because it's a cartoon or whatever, but even in the, like the super seriousness of the episodes, because some of those episodes are dark. They deal with PTSD in a children's show, and having the Roger, it's just kills me.
Yeah, the droid gets killed, and he's like, I guess I'm the new commander now, and then next thing you know, he's dead. You know what I'm saying? Yep. So it's like, yeah.
We should retitle this episode "Star Wars: The Phantom Menace Reflection" because that's definitely where we've gone to here. So
I'm just saying I have a Darth Maul figure in my collection of customs, so we can bring this full circle.
I just watched a pod racer movie. You could have a Fast and Furious pod racer, family and Anakin and family. I can see that definite connection in there too, like an alien Vin Diesel. Yeah, there's a recipe there. All right. Okay, let's pivot here. And let's talk about some custom figures. So I'm still trying to get my computer up. So Famine, there we go. All right, so we're gonna start with some of Brian's characters here, and we're just gonna kind of roll through this. If you want to pause and jump over to you to like hold something up in the air, by all means. But first of all, I want to know who this dude is, and then of course what the recipe is here. So who is this guy? Speaking of Darth Mauls.
Yeah, I mean, he's pretty much. I'll just go ahead and say I don't have like any of the characters really named or anything, the figures named, but
do
Savage,
you, or are you saying that now, and then you're gonna have a stream on Sunday? So like, I don't know if I can trust anything you say at this point.
No, even though the figure is mostly Eagle Force, it's no, it's just a Savage Opress head, and the hands are from a different Eagle Force figure that I did try to paint a little bit to match up Savage's face, but yellow is hard to paint, man.
Yeah,
I mean it's tough, and so I just finally said, you know what, it's gonna have to work. Maybe his hand's a little bit dirtier than his face, whatever. But that's pretty much it. I popped the head off of the Savage Opress Clone Wars figure, and I kind of like it. It's works for me, I guess. It's a simple swap. The Eagle Force figure is the hidden, and they have like 5 different colors of them. Well, the one guy there, I had the neck peg that was in his neck attached to the heads. I guess maybe because it was a little bit translucent that it broke on me, and I didn't heat it up. I just tried to squeeze it on there, and it busted. So he has a broken head peg in there. And so I just have to put heads that are a little bit bigger that will fit around the neck on that body.
Hey, nothing wrong with that. And I like that and this is not a knock. Please don't take it as a knock, but you're showing how simple a custom can be, right? It can be a head swap and a little bit of repaint on the hands, or even just changing the color of the hands for story or whatever. I think a lot of times, and I know I did way back when I started customizing figures, I'd get into my own head. Dom, do you need me to let you on stage, sir? Oh, he's on there. I'd get into my own head about making customs. So you're showing like how it can be that simple. Is you could just change the head around and change the hands, and you have an entirely different character. Especially with something like that Eagle Force body, where it's generic enough, and I don't mean that in a bad way, but it can just be a civilian, or it can be a space pirate or something like that.
I like this comment from Dale, like a space hero. This definitely captures very John Carter from Mars type vibes in there, like a cool retro kind of sci-fi way. Plus spiky head. So
did you like John Carter from Mars, Tom?
I mean, I like the classic. It's always come back, right? Like every decade they bring that IP back. The movie was fun, but like I like the cool retro styled comic books that Dark Horse picked up a while ago. So
I liked the original stories. Read the original stories when I was younger, but didn't care for the film. For the film.
Hold on. So now I'm back, by the way. I'm actually on my real setup now. This is so much better than talking on the phone.
You never left, man.
Yeah.
You were kicking ass. Put it in the jar.
I'll put it in the jar. So I wanted to answer Jason Jensen Train's comment from earlier, the Fist line. So the Kickstarter didn't make it. But if you actually go on to Fist on IG, he does some great reels. That guy puts so much energy and work into his reels. And I can say that because I like to edit, or I do a lot of edited content. He shoots every 5 seconds. He's in a different location when he's shooting his reel, and it all flows really well. But that aside, they are continuing to push the 6-inch figures, and I think the 3-inch are coming after that. So despite not making it for 2 Kickstarters, he is still pushing the line out, which is awesome because those figures look fantastic, and I'm all in for supporting that one. So yes, he's still coming out. I don't know what the timeline is, but he just had a video where he has like buckets of the unpainted factory type, not prototypes, unpainted factory pieces coming out. Sorry. So I definitely wanted to push that. And then we got a few more people jumping up here. So what's up, Jeff Morris? I saw White Mike Vegeta, and then speaking of Vegeta, why is he dressed like Vegeta? That's pretty awesome. So okay, cool. All right.
Okay.
Good.
I was saying, so I guess since I just pretty much started world building, I guess the past couple of years, that before this, I never did any kind of customization to figures or whatever. So like growing up, never customized anything, even into my 20s, 30s, and 40s, never did any customizing of anything because I thought it was like, I don't know. I thought it was like too hard or something like that. And so I even didn't put washes on figures or anything like that. Not that you have to, but I didn't do that because I didn't think I could pull that off or whatever. But so yeah, sometimes the simpler is better for me just because I want to see how a figure looks with a different head on it or something. And yeah, that's why a lot of my figures, the first thing I'll do is pop a head off and put a different one on there just to see how it looks, just to try to make something a little bit more what I'm trying to, to get.
Yeah.
But I don't know if you can pull this figure up.
Go ahead. Well, let's. Oh, here. Let's.
I don't know if I'm throwing you off or anything, but
no, it's fine. Man.
This is another one of the Eagle Force hidden figures.
Nice.
I actually got the head piece from Joel. It's from the I guess the Vitruvian hacks or whatever, maybe boss fight.
Oh yeah, okay.
Those blind packs that they have.
Yeah.
That they have parts. I think that kind of works for that guy. It's just a simple little swap, and those figures, I think you can pretty much do a lot with those figures, and they'll turn into whatever you want them to.
Yeah. I've only gotten one Eagle Force. I've been happy with them. I'm a sucker for space bubble helmet guys. So whenever I see one of those, I'm like, oh, the translucent guys look really cool. But in my head, I'm like, what am I gonna do with a translucent guy walking around? You know what I mean? So I don't know. But that is a really cool combo.
Thank you.
For your game there,
Yeah.
translucent could be a ghost or an NPC, an AI.
Oh, yeah, there
an
you go.
upgrade or something
AI,
like that.
there you go. Oh, good. Now I get to spend $50. All right.
Like
cool.
that, you know, kind of like the Tony Stark, have a blue
Yes.
translucent figure there.
Yeah.
Now that
No,
I put that in your head.
Yeah, no, there goes $50 more because I have to get 2 of them, of course. So all right, who's this handsome gentleman here?
All right. Well, this guy, it's the yak face body from Star Wars.
All right.
I'm not sure if you're aware of that figure, Dom, but
I am.
he's got a tall head that comes with this body, and it's a super big, like, permanent neck bulb that's in his neck, and it's like,
Okay.
I've been trying to figure out what to do with this guy since I got him for about 6 months or so, and I finally cracked the code, I think. So I popped the head off, or pulled the head off, and then I just happened to, I know a lot of people are making like dino characters and stuff, and I was like, man, I want to get on that train, and so I bought several. Yeah, Famine's probably done it, probably, you know.
Oh, putting dinosaur. I actually haven't put any dinosaur heads on the figures because there's so many people making really cool ones. I'm kind of just like letting everybody live in their moments and make those neat things.
Yep.
There you
Yes.
go.
Look at that. See?
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yes.
Awesome. Yeah, that's awesome.
Wait, let me ask you guys though. So, and we've got a picture of that one coming up too, Starbucks. So, wait, how do you? Those dinosaurs are really articulated. I can't break them. You know what I mean? Like, I don't want to just like.
Hang on 1 second, okay?
Okay, here we go. All right.
But
Okay.
I gotta show you.
But they're amazing. Like I saw Star Wars, I saw yours in the pictures, and I'm very excited to see that combination there. But
All right, so
okay.
Target had a sale about right after Christmas or right before Christmas or something, and they had a bunch of these dinos. This is an orange Velociraptor. That
I see.
I pulled the head off of, and it's on this little joint, and so I pulled the head off of it. It was only like $3, so I'm like, I'm trying some stuff. So I pulled the head off of it. His actually neck still will actually fit around the head bulb in that yak face's body, to where it actually fits on it, you know, to where you don't have to put anything on it or anything. I put the cape from one of the what's the droids that came, the HK droids that came out earlier in the year, or early, whenever. I took one of that. I took their cape, put it on him, and then I cut the yak face's cloth, yellow cloth, like a little jacket or a little, I don't know what it was called, little cape or whatever off of him. And I tried to paint up this guy's arms a little bit to match his orange head. Yeah. But I may end up dulling the head down to match the arms instead of vice versa.
So these were cheap, not very limited articulation. And these aren't like not Hammond collection. There's like so many lines of Jurassic Park. These are the lower end ones.
The Hammond collection, but also Target does clearance those out from time to time, so you can get your Velociraptors or your Dilophosauri, doesn't matter. You can get all sorts of dinosaurs on clearance, and right now Target is doing clearance on some of the '93 retro inspired figures, and then also, Dom, I don't know how big you can make me. My hands have dog treats in them. But behind me, there's a yellow ceratopsian and a herbivore.
Was it me? No, it's Famine.
What's that? Am I eating the dog treats? It's for the dogs.
You're good, man. It's
but
mine.
Yeah, there's a bunch. There's a bunch of Star Wars, or excuse me, Jurassic stuff that's on clearance right now, so you can get a lot of big dinosaurs, predators, and herbivores for clearance prices. So I do recommend.
The one I used is usually about, I think the one I took apart is normally maybe $7 to $10 or something like that. So it's not anything super expensive. And like I said, I got him like for $3 or something. So I didn't mind, doing a little bit of operation.
Yeah.
But
no, that's awesome.
That's one thing you'll find in the Jurassic line that Mattel is not afraid to do. They will always pack in Velociraptors and now the Atrociraptors from Dominion. They've been redecoing them and putting them out constantly. I have a whole collection of them just because when they go on clearance, I'll scoop them up because I want to have one of each, but I also don't want to pay full price because there's so many. So,
and I will say before I go to this guy, they have, they put them in the different color decos. So I was thinking that maybe I'll make a few more of those other guys with the different color decos, from the dinosaurs, that I see. If there's a brown one, perhaps I'll make one of those, maybe, Anyway, I like dinos too.
Brian, we'll talk. I might be able to hook you up with some. Like I said, I've gotten a lot of these Raptors, so I'll send you some.
Awesome, sweet. All right, this is my first Acid Rain Mandalorian figure. I saw Empire Toy Works, make Mandalorians. I'm assuming with either Joy Toy or Acid Rain figures, for the past couple of years. And I'm like, man, how is he doing that? And I this is my take on that. Pretty much, the chest is just going to say just an Acid Rain figure, and the arms and legs are from a different Acid Rain figure that I sort of just kit bashed, and then I put a Boba Fett head from, well, not a Boba Fett, a Clone Wars Clone Trooper head on this peg, and then I just put the Boba Fett helmet on that.
So your unmasked head under the helmet is a Clone Trooper?
Yeah.
Nice. I appreciate the chest armor too. He reminds me of like a Judge Dredd, almost like the two worlds crossing, that cyberpunk cop look versus the bounty hunter that is Boba Fett that we know. That's really cool.
Thank you. I love Acid Rain, I think, as everybody knows, but they don't really make a whole lot of figures that have an armor that kind of looks like Mandalorian armor. And so of all the figures I have, this guy's was probably the closest to it, and so I used it for that.
Yeah, it's a cool use, and like I said, it's got the right vibes. It's got the the different it's asymmetrical, right? Their armor is not like a perfect trooper. It looks more like a bounty hunter would put together his kit out of necessity, and that's what that looks like. And especially, it's just got that future vibe to it, and I really dig that. I think those shin guards are Joy Toy shin guards.
Actually, no. Those legs are straight. Those are straight up Acid Rain. From the figure was honestly a Maelstrom Trooper. I only got one of them, and this is kind of what I used for that. But yeah, nice. I didn't really change out a whole lot. I just popped and swapped here and there.
Don't sleep on hacks and blanks and armor kits. A little tooling, and you've got some Star Wars-ish armor on them. Sorry, you didn't already read that comment, did you?
No. I don't think so.
Do you need me to read it?
Can you hear me? Am I lagging really bad again?
You're lagging a little bit, Dom. Boss Fight Studios hacks and blanks and their armor kits, little tooling, and you've got some Star Wars armor for them. So Anthony coming in clutch and reminding us of that. I noticed those shin guards. It's crazy. Maybe Joy Toy borrowed the inspiration, or maybe they're a real world item, because I just got that 4-pack of those troopers with the exosuits. Yeah. And the female trooper comes with those shin guards, like spot on for those shin guards. I set them aside in my kit because I was like, oh, these are cool. I'll use those someday for something else. So I just think that's really cool that like we found out either they're producing the same pieces, or maybe it's a real world piece.
Yeah, on this figure, on the figure, it's just a built-in part of his leg. So
crap, that's cool.
Yeah, the figure I did bust apart to make this is more. It's kind of like a futuristic marine type, and so I guess maybe that's why they had. I guess I don't know. Maybe that's why they had shin guards. I'm not really sure, but anyway.
Have you ever banged your shin while running? It is the worst. I don't know why we don't have shin guards on more things. Like we've in construction, steel toe boots, puncture-proof bottoms, slip-resistant, non-tear. Where's my shin guard? Have you ever taken a 2x4 to the shin? It's a nightmare.
Let me tell you something worse than that. When I was in junior high, I was in choir, and we had these 3-step risers. Well, one of them was about 2 foot tall, and we would always jump up on that one, just because we were being stupid and everything, instead of walking them up. And I tried one day to do that, like I did many times before, and I missed, and my shin hit the edge of it. Oof, man, that hurt.
Yeah, those things were made out of adamantium and unobtainium. They were the hardest substances known to man, and you would just.
Yeah, I think I tripped tears on that one.
Yep, tripped going up those in high school for a chorus rehearsal. Thank goodness it was during the rehearsal, but I went down like a sack of potatoes, so I feel you there.
Okay.
So shall we take a look at your next?
Sure.
Am I here in the real world? Am I here normal now?
Normal? No, but you're here.
Welcome back.
Am I not lagging? Am I okay?
You're good
okay
right now.
Oh my God. So for those of you who don't know, I had to log in on my phone before the show started because my computer was like, hey, guess what? Update time. And since then, it has constantly been running something in the background. Is crashing back here. I'm having an unseen battle. It could be a metaphor. I don't know, but it's driving me insane. So, okay.
I may be the bad luck, Dom.
I think you are. I think you're the murderer. The murderer's returned, but this time you're just targeting me in the sequel. You know what I mean? So, okay, for God's sakes. All right. Techno Viper wearing a cloak. Got it.
Yes, sir. You got it, man. I figured you'd get that one. Yeah, you got it. You got it.
I won.
Yeah. That's it. Yeah.
Techno Streaker. He just does that jacket. It's horrible.
I have the first Eagle Force figure I ever bought was Major Draconis. Thanks, Bob, for introducing me to that line, by the way. But yeah, I just used the Major Draconis body. It's pretty much the red spacesuit guy with a neck harness for his bubble to go on top. I left it all on there. Just swapped out the head with the Techno Viper. It's one of the few G.I. Joe figures that I own. So anyway, I like the Techno Vipers though, and so I thought his head was, if you didn't know G.I. Joe, you'd be like, man, that's really cool. What's that from? And it's like, It's from G.I. Joe. The head fit perfectly on the neck bulb from the Eagle Force figure. Just FYI for guys who want to customize maybe G.I. Joe onto Eagle Force. But yeah, and I think that's Obi-Wan Kenobi's robe or something, or somebody from Star Wars' robe.
Yep, I think that's the Obi-Wan from the TV series. That's because it's got the cuff on the cloak.
Yep.
And
cool.
There's a lot of Fallout comparisons there, and it does kind of reminds me of an NCR Ranger with the brown jacket and the helmet, kind of a gas mask-esque helmet.
It's one of my first customs I made just because I had, I was messing around with the Eagle Force figure, and as soon as I got him, he came with 3 or 4 heads, so I was popping his heads on everybody else, and so I finally started putting other heads on that guy's body, and so I just went with this.
Yeah, that's really cool. All right.
Thank you.
Let's Brian, let's move you. Am I lagging? No, I'm still in here, right? Okay, thank God.
No, that's a fantastic custom right there, Brian. I wish you hadn't shown me that because now I want to get the figure.
Yes, steal it, man, steal it. It's I'm all about stealing figures too. If I think that a figure is pretty cool and I steal it, trust me, that's a compliment.
It's why he's not allowed to go into many Walmarts in his area, and also he's not allowed near my collection room. You mean steal the design, right? We don't condone
right.
that.
That's right. Those 5-finger discounts for me, okay?
Do what you want. Do what you want. I won't report you.
Yeah,
I will.
Yeah. Oh, maybe if they had Star Wars figures on the pegs, maybe I would. Just saying.
Truth comes out on the live show.
But yeah, so that can you go back to that one?
Oh yeah.
Second? Sorry, I just want to say it's pretty much just a Kithaba. I might be saying that wrong, Joel, maybe. But one of the Jedi, the Return of the Jedi, Jabba's guards that had the red band around his head.
Yeah.
I basically just popped his head off, swapped this Nikto with his hands I put on him, and the little brown piece towards his head is actually an Eagle Force harness that you can put a bubble helmet on. But
and that was Dogface's body, you said?
Yes. Yep.
Okay.
The new re-release from the the 3 that they did last summer, the green guy, the Nikto, and the Dogface.
Nikto Klaatu Barada.
Yeah. Anyway, that's the recipe for him.
Nice, thank you. Any salt or pepper or anything like that?
Yeah, I was about to say, like, this is a very exotic recipe here. All right, and I think this is the last one for you here.
Okay, yeah, just it's all acid rain on this one. I tried to put a little bit of different, figures to sort of showcase what they had on them and stuff. But this guy is the head and the upper chest part and the torso is from a figure called Hero. And he's from the Annex 2179 line by Acid Rain. It's kind of their line where they can kind of do crazy stuff, and get away with it.
Yeah.
But the arms and legs are from one of the other line from Acid Rain. It's called Abaddon or Abaddon. I don't know, guys.
Abaddon?
Yeah, Abaddon. That's it. Okay, thank you. But I just stole the arms and legs off that guy and sort of kit bashed him a little bit. And to me, the thing I hate about Acid Rain figures is some of them have these gangly looking arms from the Annex line. And so these some of the guys look like they have normal arms. And so I basically put normal looking arms on this guy. So anyway, that's it.
I think the more armor that the Acid Rain figures had, it hides that gangliness. Because Joe bought me one, my second Acid Rain dude, and I can't tell, but he's also wearing more bulky armor, right? So
what
I think
did
that
he
helps
get you?
Well, all right. He got me this dude here is pretty.
Oh, nice, Mason.
He's pretty neat. But yeah, the proportions seem more balanced because he's bulkier. So
right.
Oh, cool. All right, man, these are great. I love your backdrop you got going on there too. Fantastic.
Thank you. That is actually from Fatback Station. Yes.
Oh.
Fatback Station.
Nice.
Good brother, Fatback. Good to hear.
Uh-oh, look out.
All right, here we go. We got some Alien Blues Brothers.
Nice.
These are the Bith brothers.
Yeah.
Those are Fortnite bodies.
Ah, that's right. Nice.
And it's the Bith head from the new Bith from the vintage collection.
Where did you get the hats from?
Those are 3D printed.
Ah, okay.
I believe. I can't remember if I did Indiana Jones or 3D print. I think I 3D printed them, so I didn't want them to be too big, so they were too comical, but the Bith have
awesome.
very large heads.
I love those.
I mean, I don't think it'd be too comical. Those are big heads they got to wrap a hat around. You know what I mean? So yeah, these are great.
That's awesome.
So for your world building, Brian said he doesn't really have character names or anything like that too. Do you have names? I mean, you just said the Bith brothers, but do you have established lore? Or do you just like create something and pop it out there for some cool pictures?
These ones, the Blues Brothers is like my favorite comedy.
Okay.
So I love the Bith, so I'm like, it just kind of goes hand in hand. So these are just kind of like the station criminals, musicians.
Are they also on a mission from Gad?
They are.
I was gonna say, Are they on a mission from God?
I do have a picture. I should have sent it with them in front of my church.
Oh yeah, nice. Wait, I don't want to talk. No. All right, we'll talk about this next. We'll go back to him.
Sir,
Nope.
This is a Wendy's.
All right, what is this? I said custom figures, and you sent a mecha, which is amazing. What is this?
This was a Batman mecha, and my son bought it for me for $9. I think they were like $60 or $70
Right.
retail. Yeah. And so, looking at the cockpit, I'm like, okay, like an Ewok would fit in there. And so then I'm going really obscure, and from the Ewok movies, there's a creature called the Gorax. And so I'm like, well, the Ewoks would want to fight the Gorax. They would need a mech to do that. So this is a mech of the Gorax from the Ewok movies. Only Lord of Thane probably knows what a Gorax is. It's kind of an obscure character.
Huh.
Yeah, no, it's not kind of an obscure character. That is one of the obscure characters in Star Wars. Like, I think if you asked, some of them, like if you asked Dave Filoni about this, someone who knows a lot about Star Wars, I don't know that our man would know what that is, but you guys both, Lord of Thane has remembered and will forget more Star Wars lore than I'll ever know. That guy.
This is that movie with the little girl and the diabetes guy, right?
Yeah.
Is that where that came from? Yeah. Okay. All right. Yeah. All right.
Diabetes.
That's who it was. Diabetes. Yeah.
Diabetes.
You got to watch out with the Ewoks and diabetes, and also your oatmeal. So, all right. That is amazing. And then you got this shady crew here.
These are my pirates. So the little Ugbot was a Quill body and a Quill head. And then I got a bandana from Marauders. So he's kind of painted up to be like the one in the Mandalorian episode.
Okay.
And then I just started piecing together some Jabba's guards and putting different things on them. And that's how I ended up with the other two. So the guy on the right is the Anubis head from Vitruvian Hacks boss fight.
Yep. I love those guys, man. I love the robot leg too.
Yes.
Yeah, I just had an extra leg hanging just like in a box of fodder. I'm like, you know what? He needs a peg leg. He's a pirate.
I have a bunch of robot pieces left over when Star Wars was doing the Build-A-Figure droids. They pack in an arm, tracking a leg, or like that. So I actually have a bunch floating around here.
How much you want? How much I give? How much?
Okay. I have one of VHS still. Of course you do, Bjorn. All right. And then I think, oh, look at these. Ooh, thirsty picks there.
Those are cool.
Yeah. How'd you do the arm? Where did you get the heads from? I have many questions.
So those are Vitruvian Hack. It's a Vitruvian Hack kit. So it's a Mantis kit. So it came with the arms and the heads. So I just painted them up, and I bought a box of fodder, and I had a bunch of X-Wing pilots. So I'm like, I'm just going to make a couple of pilots.
Yeah. Cool.
A bunch of X-Wing pilots. Is that the Power of the Force, or is that the vintage collection?
They're not vintage. They're
Saga.
I want to say like
Saga
2000.
collection.
Yes, okay. I said it first.
Okay.
So they have like the swivel elbow. It works really well with these guys.
Yeah, it does.
I have a question. Is that box on the Mantis that would be on the left of our screen, is that from Lightyear? Is that one of the little tablets?
That is a print cartridge chip.
Oh, nice.
So if you have a print cartridge, pop that chip off. It's a pretty cool looking piece.
A printer in this economy?
So I was going to say, you're definitely going to have to modify those ships for them to be able to pilot like that. All right. And now I'll go back because I thought I put this guy towards the back because this is my favorite. I'm sorry to the rest of you. This is my absolute favorite character. This little dude right here.
So this is Mousetrap.
He is awesome.
And he's, once again, Vitruvian Hack's head.
I've got to give me some of those parts.
Yes.
And if you watch, sometimes those will go on sale for like half price, and you can get a bunch of blind packs. And then I wanted to put him on a large size body because I think everybody that does like the mouse makes him small.
Yeah.
So I wanted to make him kind of tall.
Oh, he's so cool. I remember.
What is the main body for that?
I think he's a Biff body.
Okay.
He's on the Biff buck.
Okay.
Which I've said last year that was probably my figure of the year as far as the articulation goes. That figure can be used for so much, and once you pop those Bith hands and Bith head off, you have a generic, thin male, could be female if you pose it. I don't know how female Biths look, but you could do a lot with that Bith body, and it's really good for custom. So great use on that.
Huh. Interesting. Yeah, I love that character. I remember you posted him a while ago, and I was like, "This is awesome," and you're like, "Thanks." I wasn't sure if it was too silly or not. I was like, "No, this is fantastic. Like, I am all in." Plus, your photography for him is always very invoking as well, too. Like that one on the right, especially at that angle. Like it just, he doesn't seem silly. It's just, I'm bought into the suspension of disbelief. So
yeah, he feels like he belongs there.
Yeah, exactly. Right. Yep. Don't even bat an eye. Yep. He's awesome, man. Definitely my fave. I think that was the and then you got Eyeball.
So that's once again Vitruvian hacks. I'm a Vitruvian hack myself.
Really?
The Eyeball is a head from Vitruvian hacks, and then that's a light your body, and then the chest piece is just like a 3D greebly print that I kind of cut a square into there and stuck that in there. And I just made a bunch of hoses out of green stuff.
Yeah, I like those hoses.
Do you have the hose maker, or do you carve them by hand?
I do have the hose maker.
Is it worth it?
You can make a hose pretty quickly. I mean, I know Craftsman, I think he does the same thing with a comb.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's just
what are we talking about? What do you mean a hose maker? I was going to just let this pass, but we're still talking
Don,
what
do you
maker?
see the hoses that are coming off that figure, the corrugated tubes?
Yeah.
That's what we're talking about, man.
No. How do you, but what's a hose maker? I mean, it sounds like a proper noun.
I mean, Starboy, you want to let him know?
So it's like two plastic pieces with grooves in them, and it's got a little spacer. So you roll up green stuff, you put it in there, and then you roll that back and forth, and it will give you the grooves.
Huh.
And there's different sizes, or you can change the orientation and give like a zigzag pattern.
Okay. That's awesome.
It's kind of a niche little tool, but it's pretty cool.
I've never used green stuff, but I'm assuming it will thicken up and become a permanent, well, I wouldn't say permanent, but permanent piece, maybe?
Yeah. It's got a little bit of give. Not so much so that you'd want to use it for like a hand or something like that, unless you maybe want to have it permanently holding something, but it's got enough of a give to be really useful for things like that, hoses and stuff, where it may bump up against the figure, the arm may come down. I recently just kind of, I talk about it on my show a couple of times. I have what's called the cosplayer's audacity from when I used to cosplay. I'd literally just look at something and go, I can do that, and then I'll just sit down and try it, and 80% of the time works out for me. And that's what I did with green stuff. I was like, I got to stop being nervous. I used to sculpt with plumbing epoxy putty, steel stick. That stuff's got a 5-minute cure time. So, but whereas green stuff has 4 hours, and it's, you can work with it. It gets a little bit tacky. You can mix it with other epoxies if you're, careful about it and read your MSDS safety sheets. Kids, be careful and don't try it at home without an adult.
Yeah, I've only used it for like pouches and stuff like that on the outside, because like you could easily press it into like a quick mold or something like that too. But that's awesome. I learned something very new. And then Vitruvian Armory. This is the other thing I wanted to catch really quick. So Bjorn actually turned me on to this site too, but like you can just do a la carte, like Marauder style. Like I want these heads, I want these hands, I want these pouches. Like it is overwhelming when you first walk into it to see like the variety of stuff. And you can choose like, I want monster heads or monster parts, and it'll show you like just those, like, the hands, tails, arms. It's really cool. So yeah, that's a great spot too.
Milliput, very similar. Yeah.
Oh,
one thing about green stuff is whatever you do, don't drop it on the carpet and then roll over it with your chair looking for the piece you just dropped. You'll never get it out.
Permanent addition to the carpet. It's good for resale value. And then you showed this cool raptor earlier too. Man, look, that paint job's
so
really
this
good.
Is Jurassic, and that's a Buzz Lightyear body.
Mm-hmm.
Nice.
And then that raptor is the one that came with the cages. I don't know.
Yeah.
It was on clearance at Target, and I just drilled the neck hole in the Lightyear body, and then just stuck the head into it, the same size. So
That's awesome.
Awesome.
Yeah, that's really cool. For those of you who are still hanging out here, thanks so much for coming. First of all, don't forget members after dark, right after this. Also, if you're coming to that, I don't really have like anything prepared other than just BSing. So if you're like, Tom, I want to see a thing, let us know. Or any of these guys here that you want to pull out more custom characters, let us know now. So as we transition to 10:30, we can like quickly grab those things. So and it does start at 10:30, but if this runs a little long, we're gonna go take a tinkle break and come right back. So just hang out and we'll kick it live. So
I refuse. If you're gonna call it a tinkle break, I'm not taking one. I'll hold it.
No, it's a tinkle break. Here we go. Speaking of long necks and pulling them out.
Nice.
This is a family friendly show, sir.
Right. He's extending his long neck. I don't know where you're going with this. Your mind is in the gutter, not mine. I'm talking about dinosaurs. Look at this guy with his BBC. That's British Broadcasting Channel.
Yep,
so what do you got going on here? He's fantastic.
So this is a herbivore that I saw in the Jurassic line, Dominion line, and it's one of those dinosaurs that is so relatively new that I can't pronounce his name to remember it for my life.
Yes.
But it's in line. It is a herbivore, so it is bigger.
Yeah.
I can actually bring it to the camera as well for you here. But it's a great figure, and I was looking at it and I was thinking of a rhinoceros or an elephant. Like, you know, we can make dinosaurs with crazy colored skin and stuff, but I thought, what if there was just a big, you know, giant, slow-moving tank of a critter that's not an ankylosaurus or whatever, but just, you know, was big and gray like an elephant, and I came up with this, and then I
love the white dry brush. It's so good on it. Yeah.
Tribal, did a little bit of tribal paint on the front of his nose, just, you know, for when he's being walked through town. I have I made an EVA foam bridle that slips over his nose, and somebody can walk him through. But it's a great figure, and the great thing about these is the sculpts are so detailed on these figures. So and I did this all with dry brush, no airbrush or anything like that. Jeremy, how's it going? And I just dry brushed. I started with a black base and just worked up from there. And now I've got this wonderful guy here.
Yeah, very cool.
Yeah, I love that. I love that one right there.
Thank you.
Good to go. Solo mode. Exit solo mode for gods. There we go. Man, that was terrible. Okay, here we go.
How did you manage to compress that poor picture? My goodness.
That's some awesome paint work, man.
So thank you. That is a Pyroraptor. I'm trying to remember where I placed him after I took pictures for Dom. Jurassic World Dominion Pyroraptor.
Yeah.
Those are clearancing all over the place. That's actually the one that came with one of the human figures for the line. And I liked it. There it is, hanging on the rooftop of a building. Dom, if you could make me large. This bright white light is washing a lot of it out, but there are a lot of color shifts on there and also neons. So when this guy gets under a black light, he really pops, or she. The feathers and the details on there are really great, and it's just so easy for dry brushing and then going back in with some detail color, and you get a great little parrot, almost like a parrot. That was kind of my inspiration, is let me make this a tropical bird instead of, you know, just
those colors really pop, man.
Yeah.
I love the green on the feet. You know, I love that. Yeah, it's awesome.
Yeah, and I continued that up into the snout, did some green on the face and on the knuckles, so it, you know, was almost like that.
I'm just gonna send you my dinos and let you.
You know what was funny? I was like, I'm gonna batch up all my robot arms and legs and send those, and you send me a dino, like, because every time I remember distinctly, there's a couple of your videos I've watched with Tristan. He's like, what? So I'm like, yeah, man, these are cool. And like, because of you, I now have like 25 or 30 dinosaurs like wandering around our area, but they're so fun.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
you're welcome. Yeah, no, I'll absolutely do some dinosaurs for people. We'll talk.
I put two in one here. I like the juxtaposition.
Yeah, Roger. That Darth Maul is that was my first ground up custom of Darth Maul that I've ever done. You know, in the years past, I've done, you know, kit bashing Luke's dark Jedi robes to make a different outfit for Maul or whatever. But this was a Cult of San Rhea Acid Rain, or excuse me, not Acid Rain, Joy Toy body, the shirtless body, took all the armor off of his pants, and then just went through my bits and bobs boxes, my arm, my greeblies and all that stuff, my armor pieces, created shoulder armor for him. I cut little wraps out of fabric and paper to make his wrist wraps. I used the torso, the upper torso, costume part from the Hasbro figure, and cut that out with an X-Acto and just cleaned it so it's almost as thin as actual fabric so that it fits over the figure. And then his torso has real fabric wrapped over it, so he maintains the articulation and can move.
Yeah.
And that was done over top of his painted chest. I painted his tattoos, his tribal tattoos on there, which was scary. Let's be honest, my specialty in painting is more larger scale things. I'm still learning to do.
It's a lot of detail. Yeah.
But doing that and then, having it look successful really, was an ego boost. Because again, it's the audacity. I'm just like, I see it and I'm like, yeah, I can do that. That's easy peasy. I'll do that right now. So I did that and I made the custom lightsaber for him. Utah, how's it going? And just came out with a really great figure. And I gave him big old metal boots, which, Dom cropped out of the picture. It's fine.
You gave it to me vertical when this is only horizontal. So like I can't be
that's the system, baby. That's not, this is show business. We got to accommodate. It's 2024.
Starboy, welcome back.
I had horizontal. I could have. And then the painting, I just that's one of my things that I want in my world, in my buildings and stuff that you can see into, is I want them to be very Ghibli. I want there to be a lot going on. I want little oddities and things like that you would see in homes and in these worlds. Like if you watch the background in Star Wars, there's all kinds of S-word hanging from the ceilings, from the walls, bits and bobs. Like if you don't pay too much attention to them, they're just there. But it adds to the lived in and realistic feeling. So I was like, let me make a funny little painting. And that painting is only about 1.5 inches. And it's now hanging on a wall inside of my little, Moroccan inspired cantina.
I have to pause you. Did you hand draw that battle droid inside there?
Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah, I hand drew it in pencil, and then I did it with a paintbrush with the black, and then just went over, and anytime I accidentally backfilled it, like if I went over the black line, I just waited for it to dry and then came back in, did the black, and then the frame, I just wanted to do the rainbow colors and then pick up some highlights and spatter. It's the juxtaposition, like you said. You've got this battle droid who is probably a esteemed, commander, that his image, his visage was recreated in a piece of artwork, and then just this ridiculous frame.
It's so much work for what is basically an Easter egg among your setup. Like no one will, what I mean? People will probably look over your entire collection and just pass that over. You should get one little light somewhere to shine down on that portrait, though.
Yeah, do the little tiny EL wire with just it poking up to light that out.
Yeah, just one to highlight and spotlight it. So that's so funny, man. That's great. I love that.
I got another one I did right here in my hand.
Oh my goodness.
This is such a deep dive. I don't think anybody will be able to tell me what that image is of.
It's a mustache on a puppet. No.
Yeah, it's Serenity
close.
Valley.
Okay, nowhere near close. Yeah.
And then we've got a
Crow T from Mystery Science Theater. That's fantastic.
It's I'll know he's there. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, exactly.
This is just, again, this is the space dino that launched 1,000 ships, as it were, and filled Dom's, play quarters with a bunch of toy dinosaurs. And that is, again, a Jurassic Triceratops, and you can just, the sculpt is there. There's so much detail, and just, you could have just dry brushed the entire thing, done nothing else to that, and it would have still been an excellent figure. I just went a little bit further and added, some false eyes pattern to the frill, chipped the horn to make him look a little tough, and then made a saddle. And I've got a couple of videos like that up on my channel. There's going to be more coming through my Patreon. Shameless self-promotion.
Yeah.
And that's a avatar that I made of myself in gimmick. And there he is up there on his high Triceratops wearing a sweet hat.
Lording over everybody.
Yeah. Again, Dom, you're killing me. You're killing me.
Again, vertical. This is a horizontal format. This is YouTube. I don't know where you thought you were in time and space, but this HK
I don't know if you've ever heard of Canva or InShot photo editing. I could have sent you the edited version, but I figured you're the big guy. You're the running the show. You would have had it. I understand Joe probably does all the high-tech fancy
That's
stuff
cool.
now I'm starting to see.
Just more work on me, no problems. This red is phenomenal, by the way. I love the matching of the big old mandroid there to the little dude. It's fantastic.
Yes.
Yeah, it's the one of the Lightyear 3-pack figures. It came with 2 Star Command figures and that Zerg robot, and it was on clearance on Amazon down for like $6, I believe. I shared it with a lot of people. I'm like, hey, jump on this, but I just wanted a big heavy to go with my HK army that I have, and I have 6 or 7 of those now. But just applying some gunmetal paint and some black paint and then making some scuffs elevates that thing, and then it fits right in. And I also painted his visor with a more glossy red, so it looks more like a robotic eye that matches the other guys. And it's a great figure. It's great. It poses up nice enough. It's got enough articulation. It was really, really neat and fun thing to do.
Those are really fun. So like Finn, I've got a bucket of like 5 of them in different sizes, and Finn just grabs. Oh, here we go. Finn will just grab them. Go ahead, Starboy. And nope. Yeah, there you. Oh, look at that gray. That's really cool. Very RoboCop kind of colored there. That's awesome.
Awesome. Is she there for a ride, or is she a kidnapping victim?
I'm not sure. I didn't put her there.
Okay. She may be kidnapped then.
Yes.
And then the robot that you guys see on the right, the protocol droid, that was my Fallout inspired
got it.
Robot, and that the left arm with the hand is from that line that Dom was talking about with all the Build-A-Figure parts. I just swapped that out, painted it up. The right arm is the existing arm from the figure. I chopped his hand and used beads and bits of plastic to make a little ray gun.
Oh, cool.
Gave him the shoulder armor from the figure, popped that off, put that on there. His body is the base body, but then I took the head off, which would have ridden all the way on the top, and I made 3 or 4 magnetic masks that can pop on his face. One is of a human skull. That one is just that weird, creepy, lifeless eyes, and the other one is a more protocol droid type face. And I just love the idea that this droid has a person, he can't emote. So he just thinks that if he picks up a mask from his collection and puts that on, that's going to show. And when he's angry or going to, battle, full face. Like, I think that would be horrific.
That's
if
awesome.
I looked up, the Terminator, you see the robot, but it's got that skull. It's like, man, that's scary. So imagine this guy bumbling towards you in a field with his ray gun ready to go, and he's just wearing a human skull. Terrifying.
Is that the blue? Is that the droid that's blue? Okay.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah. It looks like, for those who read Batman, the owls, like they had a whole
Court of Owl,
Yeah, it looks like straight out of those. Or and then if he's wearing human faces, that's very I keep saying Warhammer 40K with their, what are the robots in that? Necrons. They've got the flayed ones that actually wear human flesh and stuff on them. Yeah, that's awesome.
That mask is the Episode 3 Clone Wars shoulder pad, or Clone Trooper shoulder pad.
Oh, that's genius. You turn that into a mask. That's really clever.
Yeah, when I pulled all of my old figures that I forgot I had in our shed before we took it down, I had hundreds of those shoulder pads in there because I used to have, I think, 200 of the Episode 3 white clone troopers and a bunch of the shock troopers. So, of course, they lose that shoulder pad unless you glued it in place. So I had a handful of them, and I was getting ready to get rid of them because I don't have that many clones anymore. And I was like, let me hold on to a couple of these. Maybe I'll think of something. And I was just sitting there looking at it, and I held it up, and it was the exact same size as that droid's head. And I was like, we're cooking with gas now. So I came up with that idea.
That's awesome.
Thank you.
All right. Well, guys, those were some really cool freaking figures you guys pulled out there, man. Like, really talented. I'm not showing it in my customs, so we're gonna just end it right there. Hey, for those who are still hanging out, come jump into the After Dark. I think that we already had a request to show more custom figures. So in the quick transition here, you all are going to have to grab some more figures. We'll just do it live in front of the camera. I got a couple what you gots, but I'll hold it for that afterwards. So yeah, I think that's all we got for tonight. Anything you guys want to say before we jump over?
Yeah. Thank you for having me as a co-host tonight. I'm glad to fill in for Joe. Joe's check cleared, so I did take the gig.
Good.
That's always good. And follow me on Patreon. I've got physical tiers, digital tiers, and as far as little something for your money that also helps fund the channels. And also, it's a great way to keep track of what I've got going on at Famine Studios and what shows I'm going to be on. And you know, I feel so light and fresh. I feel like I really look good today, and I think it's because of this Toy Domination No Brainer shirt.
Yeah.
You should definitely go to TeePublic and check that out. While you're over there, I know Famine has some, World Makers Consortium has some, our good friends Pirates of the Galaxy, Lord of Thane. There's shirts out there for people in the community. It's a great way to represent and show some support for everybody here. All those dudes are cool, so be sure to check out their stuff.
My goal is to buy one of everyone's shirts, and I'm going to pull a Joey from Friends while I'm at Joe Fest and just one by one peel them off. So
Look at me. I'm dumb. Could
I'll be like the flip book of t-shirts. Brian or Starboy, you got anything else to shout out before we take off?
Just thank you for the invitation.
Of course. Yeah, always great having you on, man. Starboy?
I'm gonna shout out my son, artwork of Van Williamson. I was gone for 3 weeks on vacation. He took over my station, created this whole secondary layer of lore that's pretty awesome. That's going places. So if you want to buy some custom artwork, go check him out or just give him a follow.
Awesome.
Nice, very cool.
I think you guys crushed it. I think you guys won toys. So we'll go ahead and just cut off there. All right. We'll see. Joe told me not to just abruptly end the show anymore, so we can't do that gag. So we're gonna I know we're gonna exit it out. We're actually gonna end the stream in the right way.
Can we do